Hello everyone and welcome to ASF Behind the Scenes, and we are going to cover Survivor Series. Ha ha ha. What the hell was that? I don't know, I just just feeling rather quirky today, because I haven't actually I've been trying to figure out how to space things out here, and the problem is I won't be able to. Bottom line, to cut the long story short, because the elimination matches are going to take some time to get through. So instead of just being a cheapo and skipping them, in case some of you might want to watch the whole event through, it is 3 hours long. This event will be 3 hours long. However, I've conducted another better method instead of skipping things, because there might be things that come up in the elimination matches which we might have forgotten, and it'll just give us the amnesia jerk in the brain, and we'll remember something. So instead of doing that, and we can talk about a lot of other things that surround the ASF in general, I thought we could use that time to cover that. So just talking about things in general rather than the particular show. So that's what we're going to do, mostly for the Team Manic versus Team Tails Survivor Series match, which is the second match of the night on the event. And we've got and someone else the same person who gave us some themes for TNA last week, or whenever it was last week, has also given us some more to ponder over, on top of 2 questions which I'm sure he would love answering. Mr. Ben Hopkins there, sir. So we will answer those during the Survivor Series match, if you're wondering, just in case, because you might want to not listen to the whole 3 hours. Who knows? If he's anything like me, he'll want to watch all 3 hours. Is that an incentive to watch all 3 hours now? I'll put him off now, haven't I? You have. No, I'm just joking. So yeah, that'll be coming up then. So we're gonna. So I'm not gonna do 3 hours. That's a no-no. It's most likely, folks, that you are going to be seeing this on Thursday. So the pointlessness of me saying this now, I might make it as an announcement or a message or something, or I might just say fuck it. I'll most likely say fuck it, because that's what I do. Because I've got several other things on my mind and my plate and everything. If you saw the New Year video or whatever, so I'll be dealing with that instead. But we better crack on with this, because time's a wasting. But we're going to do an hour and a half now, and then we're going to do another hour and a half on Thursday, when we usually on our usual day for recording stuff. So then, but then I'll upload both the parts together as one whole video. So yeah, you'll be watching this on Thursday. Ha ha ha. But I'm sure you won't mind. It's only a small gap. And you got one on New Year's Day, so be happy with it. Man, you like forcing people into doing stuff. Yes, I'm a bitch. So yeah, this is our first pay-per-view where we had an opening. Admittedly, some of it was stolen from another company. It better not do me over for stealing it now, but it isn't on the actual site, I don't think. So, but they have a 40 fits over Sonic, but they don't have 40 fits over this, unless they will now, all of a sudden. But some of this was stolen from this footage. Some of it was, especially the voiceover in the background talking, has come from the Backlash event of 2001, if anyone's curious, where they had the Austin Stone Cold and Triple H Power Trip team versus the Brothers of Destruction over all the titles. I think it was the tag team, the Intercontinental, and the WWE Championship, or the WWF at the time. So that's where that's from. And I thought it would be nice and fitting to have that, seeing as I have that DVD in my collection, to put it on here, because it is for all the gold, because we were saying Intercontinental and World Championship for the main event. Big deal. So everyone's going to take all the gold, but they're not. that's the swerve at the end. Is someone doesn't walk away with both championships, and we pull the big swervy swerve of swerveness. So yeah, that's we still got the match breakdowns here at the beginning. I forget when exactly we do away with that. Actually, I think we do away with that at Armageddon. We have another one at No Way Out for some reason, but Armageddon seems to have faded out from the match previews of what's to come on that night for some reason. When we had another opening for that. Which everyone knows what that was taken. Actually, that was taken from two things. The music is taken from one thing, and the opening bit with the championship flashing is from. But we'll talk about that when that event comes up, which will be next weekend. So, yeah. What was I going to talk about? I don't know. You've been on a rampage ever since we started. That's me. I'm trying to keep alive. It's Sunday. Yeah. So I might trail off, so just as well we're not doing this for 3 bloody hours. Yeah, thank God for that. It was bad enough doing 2 hours for Summer Strike. Yeah, it was. Well, at least we're going to have a lot to talk about. I'm going to discuss a lot of things that, in general, because I feel like this is the time to talk about things in general, of why the ASF is the way it is and everything like that, and all that bamble. So we're going to have stuff to talk about. That's good. It's a lifesaver. So, obviously, in the world of real wrestling, if you can call it that, or sports entertainment, Survivor Series has quite often fallen flat on its arse and still does. So I wanted to change all of that shit. This event was kind of like saying, look, you can make a good Survivor Series. I've made one. On my show. So, yeah, this was a bite back at making Survivor Series matches important. Because, nowadays they just scramble a bunch of people together into teams saying, oh, they're going to have an alliance. And then whatever, and then they just have a match, and it's just boring. So I wanted the Survivor Series matches on this show to have some kind of significant importance. And lo and behold, boy did they ever. Specifically, well, just for the future of the course of the show they affected. So in essence, these Survivor Series matches were the beginning of the chaos, so to speak. No pun intended, because chaos is in one of the Survivor Series. Well, you just said that. Yeah. You kind of trailed off there. I didn't know what I was going to say, actually. I was going to say you just said that for the pun, but never mind. Yeah, I didn't say that for the pun. But yeah, this is when all the future of the show took place here. Like I said, No Mercy was kind of like just to get everyone into that level of we're important, worry about us, care about us, etc. Now we got to build stuff for the future, which we can now because we have people on the show that matter, in a sense. I'm not sure how many people did, but, who cares? Don't turn into Vince. Oh, God, no, I don't want to do that. I listen to the fans, damn it. That was a bloody good impression. Can you do a better one? I don't want to try. I don't want to turn into that fucking moron. Good, fair dues, fair dues. So here we are with this opening Survivor Series match, which was probably the least important on the card, but it turned into a great little storyline, which I fucking love, actually. God, we're throwing the word fuck out there quite a lot. Let's just keep doing it. Fuck this and fuck that. Fuck everything. There you go, you got Eggman saying the word fuck several times. We might have had you say it on the show, but, it's going to be a rarity. We should do more promos where I just say the word fuck all day. Can we talk about the show instead of what future plans for your promos there? Go ahead. You just get right on fucking in there. Oh God. This is how the Survivor Series is going to start, isn't it? Yep. Anyway, Happy New Year. Oh God. Thought you were going to talk about the show. I am. Okay, right. So this opening match, wasn't that important, so I thought, get out of the way, and then we can have the shock turn right at the start of the show, because I wanted that feeling. This match wasn't going to be very long, let's face it, because it wasn't. So, you know, it was just a case of, let's get it out of the way, and then we can have the shocking moment, and then, you know, we could talk about, because obviously as when we're doing commentary, we needed something to talk about other than just the match. Because, you know, that's how commentary is supposed to go, and we can't just, well, I say that's how commentary is supposed to go. Well, obviously we're supposed to be calling the match, but obviously we can talk about other things as well. So the best thing to do was to get this out of the way, and then we can talk about this, as well as the Survivor Series match. I'm not sure if we actually did in the end, but, you know, the last thing I wanted to sound like the show was boring, because we knew that the Survivor Series match to follow was going to be very, very long. And it was astronomically long, in fact. I think it almost takes up... I forget. Well, I'll find out in a minute how much time it actually takes up. But on estimate, I think it was pretty much like a 40-minute match, 45-minute match. So it was friggin' long. And obviously I couldn't have it as I couldn't have it near the other Survivor Series match. There needed to be space, so I couldn't have it near the main event, in other words. I was going to have it 2 regular matches, then a Survivor Series match, then 2 of the other regular matches, because we've only got 6 matches scheduled for the entire show, so I could have done it like that. But seeing as some of the smaller matches weren't going to last that long, namely the match with Ewan or Eggman and Mandy, and Star and Mindy, wasn't going to last that long. That's another thing to talk about. Mindy's debut here, specifically, you know, her first big show event match, didn't pay off in the end. No, it didn't. That's a good thing. Yeah, God dear. So it wasn't going to create that much buzz to talk about the Survivor Series matches. So we needed something shocking, and you know, that was the storyline idea that I had here. Was we were going to do the kidnapping angle, because I don't think Cream was coming off as a convincing heel as much as I wanted her to be. So she needed a presence. That's the end of part 1. She needed to have a convincing presence. To make her seem like she's a legitimate heel persona, and I thought, well, what can she do that's really really bad, or, you know, maybe A.K.I. could win the match, but then Cream comes out of the blue and attacks the hell out of her and abducts her or kidnaps her and locks her away somewhere, and, you know, it's going to be another something which doesn't often very happen in wrestling, period. Because it's a horrible thing to do at the end of the day, so I thought, why not? Very romantic. So do this invasion, do this kidnapping takeover angle, which will give Cream the heat, and then even if she lost the match, we have to make her number 1 contender to the Women's Championship, because she's the only one that was in this match who's actually here anymore. And then, of course, we had the whole interesting angle at Armageddon, the growth of this storyline, in essence, which carried all the way over right up until this point at Mascot Rumble. So, you know, this was a big deal to start off. And I'm glad it turned out the way it did. All in all, it's got to be it's all happening here, isn't it? We had one of my favourite moments in ASF was Mindy debuting and bicycle kicking Mandy in the face. One of my favourite matches was Samus and Grimm, and now my favourite storyline, in other words, to form characters or personas, you know, with loads of twist results and endings and everything, was this one. Even if it didn't seem big at the time, it certainly, I was just looking forward to the beginning, you know, and just starting it off and going, yeah, we're going to do it. So, yeah. And that's my 2 cents on that one, Eggman. Well, what do you want me to say? You can say whatever the hell you want, and have so far. We've only been recording for 15 minutes. God, it's been that long already. Oh dear. I think everyone will be relieved that I don't actually have any drink with me today. I needed to go shopping, and I haven't done that yet. So this is a drink-free house, and Eggman's gonna starve. Oh dear, what have I got myself into today? So after this we're going shopping and I'm getting some drink. Well, I'm looking forward to the rest of the day. Because I have no drink and I'm going to need it. We should have got some before I did this, but never mind. I guess all the fans will be relieved that I won't be taking frequent breaks just to take a drink, but it might affect my voice. Well, who knows? Hell, if it doesn't affect mine, why does it affect yours? I'm the one doing the impressions here. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a good talker. That was a joke. I don't know. It's Sunday, give me a break. So yeah, here's A.K.I winning. Voila. End of match. It's only been 16 minutes, but you know, give or take, we started 3 minutes, so it wasn't that long of a match. So that was the beginning of the end, and then we have the abduction on Raw. It doesn't take place on here. I forgot about that. I thought it did take place on here, but I guess I was wrong about that. So there you go. I fucked up. You're forgiven. I don't speak on behalf of everyone. No, of course you wouldn't. You never do. What? Yeah. You heard me. That's what I like saying, usually. So here's the Survivor Series match. Hooray, right. So originally this was going to be billed as the match that was on the picture, which was 3-on-3. But then Mr. Smarty Pants over here said, yeah, this was your idea, don't pull that face at me. Yeah, I admitted it was. Well, you can talk about it, go on. You haven't done anything so far other than say the word fuck. That's my job. It's my gimmick. Great. Cursing Eggman is to come in ASF in the future. We're going to do that in a promo, I swear to God, and everyone will know. That's what they've been talking about and doing, and there he is doing it. That'll be awesome. Yeah, we're going to do one promo where you're just going to say loads of the word fuck. We got to work that in now. Yeah, because we've already got everything in place, never mind. But we're still going to do it, I swear. Even if I have to force it in, I'm going to do it. Build the hype, folks, for the comeback in April. By the way, I can say the results are in for the one night only event, and it makes for a very interesting reading. I don't know when I'll be able to show you a preview of what's to come on the 25th, but the results were interesting, and we've made the matches prior to this, which is probably why I didn't go out to get drink. We've been very busy today. That's why we probably don't want to do 3 hours of this. We're not very motivated on that front. They say that like it's a bad thing. Well, we've done enough work for today, and but you'll get the results at some point this week, maybe next weekend by the time this is out, because otherwise it's pointless me saying it now. Maybe on Friday. So that'll be tomorrow when I do air this. Well, you'll get all the information for the next one night only event. Hurrah! This can be a good one, I feel. Though it was hard to book, I'll give them that. Yeah, well there you go. There's a bit of a spoiler, but it's not much of a spoiler because you don't know what the theme is. Well, unless you were voting for it in bulk. You know who you are. No, I'm just kidding. No one really voted in bulk, but we got some votes. That was the important thing. Yeah. um, shut up. What did I say? Don't worry about it. Right, anyway. So this Survivor Series match was originally billed as just 3-on-3. But then, you're going to talk about it, weren't you? Yes, I was. Why don't I go ahead? So yeah, we were going to originally have this as a 3-on-3 match, but then I said, why don't you make the competitors on SmackDown even more important and make them part of, have a faction war? And the best way we can do that is we can introduce both factions in Survivor Series through that match. And then I also came up with the idea is we should actually have 2 extra people come in, and who are most worthy candidates at the time. And this is when we formed the team of Rouge and Samus. Well, we formed it before that, but that's why we formed it, is because then we can have this team come in for Team Tails, and then we can have Bomberman and Wario come in for the Freedom Movement, as they're now known, or Manic's team, as I should say. So that's what we did. Because couldn't have a faction with just 3 people and have a faction war with 3 people. I mean, if we're going to have a real big faction to work with, we need 5-on-5. So that did stretch things out here, thanks to me. But hey, it was all worth it. Yeah. Very, very, very. Yes. Very, very yes. Yeah, very yes. I don't know what I was going to say there. But yeah, it worked. I did like that idea, because obviously it's here. So the anti-heroes and the Freedom Movement were his idea, technically, even though he didn't name them. I gave the factions their names, because I said, well, if we're going to have factions, then we're going to have team names. And you were clueless. You just wanted the factions. That's what you wanted. Yeah, because I thought it would make everyone much more important on SmackDown. Because you said, because the whole No Mercy thing, despite what we all said there, might not have worked for everyone, especially for the people who were losing. So Homer and Lisa lost, and even though they were the established tag team, they might have fallen down now. They're losing to basically a brand new tag team in Dimension X. And everyone else that lost as well with No Mercy, suffered as well, like Manic, for example. So I was just thinking, right, you need to make factions. Hold on. So can I continue? Yeah, I've recorded. Okay, good. Make them important. Give every match that kind of purpose where, which faction's going to get the better side of things. And then the fans will slowly start to realize, or not realize, but come to the reality and stuff that, these guys are important and we need to focus on what they're doing because it's big. And it'll grow and grow and grow, and it will make everyone on SmackDown more important. So that was my contribution, and thank you everyone, because now we have a big faction war thanks to me. And that wasn't my idea, he just grew on it. We were just going to have a faction fight with these 5, but then he just overblew it. But that wasn't a bad thing, because everyone, I think, is definitely behind the faction war. And the whole concept of, we might be making our own NWO kind of thing, where they just keep adding members and more, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger. But it's not just the NWO kind of gimmick, it's like 2 sides colliding. Instead of just one side beating up a bunch of individuals, it's 2 sides colliding and they're having a big massive fight. And of course it's pretty much culminated at the Mascot Rumble, but it might not have. Shush. Oh, can I tease? No, you can't. Well, I just did, so I'll blank it out in post. Asshole. I'm just going to repeat it again, and you're going to find all the pieces to insert, to blank out. You're such an ass. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, okay, so that was a fair deal, but we grew it, yeah. And I came up with the idea of having them being called the Freedom Movement because it was like, well, Manic's the leader technically, so he should be, and they're the freedom fighters on the show that Manic is from, which is Sonic Underground. And they're referred to the freedom fighters, and and Sonic and Sonya and Manic are like the leaders, so of the freedom fighter group. So we'll call this the Freedom Movement, and because it also works in terms of the anti-heroes taking over, and being that the rebels that are running the asylum. So we want to break free from that, from their torture and their whatever. So hence the Freedom Movement, get us out of here. So it worked on so many levels on that team name, and then for the anti-heroes, I just like that name for some reason, because I didn't really have a name for based around Tails. We could have called them Tails' Tykes, but that would have been freaking horrible. My God, what the fuck? Here we go again. Yeah, I said it again. My gimmick. I'm living up to it. But I just like the name I just like the term anti-hero. We all know that the term anti-hero comes from being, a hero, but not in the typical style of how a hero should act. Many wrestlers in the past have been labelled as an anti-hero. Stone Cold Steve Austin got labelled as an anti-hero. I think Samoa Joe has been labelled as an anti-hero at some point in his life. But it kind of worked because Manic's team were in a sense heroes. Specifically, what we were going to do with Link. He's the hero come to save the day. So why not just call him the anti-heroes? And it's just a cool name. They are the anti-heroes, and they're here to stay and beat people up and everything. And it's just a really cool name, even if they're supposed to be the heel team. We were hoping to make their presence felt more so than the Freedom Movement, because it's just a really awesome evil faction name. So that's why I came up with the anti-heroes, or the anti-heroes if you're English like me. And me, yeah. Ugh, I'm coughing. See, I've got no drink. I would have been having one at this point. Half an hour in. You just calm down there. Can you take over? I can try. Yeah. What do you want me to talk about? Talk about... Oh, I don't know what to talk about. Oh, I'll just keep doing it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. Right. You don't believe me, do you? Let's just keep going and I'll prove it to you. Okay. So there wasn't any thought process for the eliminations here, but we wanted to know that we wanted to end it with Link and Manic, just to show that they have the edge, they have the advantage right from the beginning, and then before we have the reign of the anti-heroes, because I needed Manic to have, like you said, we needed to give him some momentum from losing to at No Mercy, so we needed Manic to win. Link was going to get the final decision though, because we wanted that angle to kick off, that he was going to be the savior and the one to end the reign, once it began. Because after this we did have Link and Tails have a rivalry straight off, a number one contenders match and everything, and we know what that results in, which is culminates at No Way Out. And then it just trails on from there, and then it's ended basically at the Mascot Rumble just recently. So, yeah, we just needed to know that it was going to end with those two. That's the point of where we needed to get to. So we didn't really think much out, but obviously we needed to give the anti-heroes a little of advantage, but not too much, because we needed to try and make everyone important here. And we weren't trying to make it just the teams teaming up that had already been established, A.K.I. the Dimension X teaming up, or Peach's Cabinet is now known teaming up, and Lisa and Homer teaming up and everything like that. So we tried to mix and match things here, just to make it give it that Survivor Series feel. Because I think everyone was kind of puzzled. How are you supposed to do this kind of match if the match can only allow 4 people in? And everyone's going, "Oh, that's how you're going to do it." And I was like, "Yeah, I like it." And we thought we'd have the tornado feel, because then it would seem more fun to call. And also it would be actually a bit more possible to achieve, because, like I said, tag team matches on this game can take an astronomical amount of time sometimes, because it gets really frustrating. So the best way to do this is to make it fun, is to make it tornado style. And we did that for both matches. Just to make it more fun at the end of the day, because that's the bottom line for the ASF, is just making things fun. That was a nice double kick out right there. Yes, it was. Glad they're paying attention to this action. What, and you're not? I'm not, but I'm just trying to focus on what I'm going to talk about. So yeah, there wasn't any specific order of who won and who got eliminated, but we needed it to end with Link. That's why we started it off with Link here, actually, because we wanted him to be the fighting force for the freedom movement straight off the bat. Because we were saying, look, he's gone from post to post. Meanwhile, the other the freedom movement members are getting eliminated. Link is still here, and finally ending with Manic to give him that boost over, or the rub, so to speak, shall we say? Even if Link is basically the lesser performer right now out of the two, but I believe this match, just this one match, put Link over onto the pedestal, saying, no pun intended for Link having a pedestal, but I didn't get that joke. Yeah, we needed to establish that Link was the force to be reckoned with the freedom movement. Therefore, he's going to be in the whole of the Survivor Series match and work his ass off, basically, and come up with the final elimination. So that puts him in the driver's seat. It actually made things more easier for who was going to get eliminated as well in the process, if I believe. Even if we didn't have it planned out, it was going to make it easier by saying, right, at least one person from the freedom movement we can have eliminated. Because he's going to be consistent throughout the match, which made eliminations just a little bit more easy to plan out, rather than saying this person eliminates him and she eliminates her, or he eliminates her, or she eliminates him, and so and forth. So it made it just that little bit more easy, and it put Link over, like I said, like you said. Yeah. All right, we're half an hour into this, so I haven't got really much else to talk about. Oh, there's the end of that part anyway. I haven't got much else to talk about, as I was saying just then, before the video cut up. So we're going to move straight along to this person's comments. Mr. Ben Hopkins is back with some more, with tons more actually, so it's all good. So I praise him for that. I'm bowing. He is as well, both arms. Well, it would be a bit stupid doing it with one arm. You look like an elephant doing that. I sometimes feel like an elephant. Anyway, so the Abyss's theme he was talking about was the one that he's pretty much more recognised for, other than that other theme. I think that other theme for Abyss was so lame that they probably changed it back to the other. They have changed it back to the other one just because it was lame. But that's the one for Metal Knuckles, so we know which one he's talking about now. So yes, yeah, definitely. I'm still agreeing with that. Both of them would have worked really, but yeah, that one definitely works. And he's also saying Link could use Bobby Roode's current theme, off the chain thing. Don't do that. I was waiting for a reaction there. Was you going to say anything, or just sit there looking ultra stunned above everyone else is? Don't ever do that again. I speak for everyone there on that front again. But yeah, I suppose that could work. Are we trying to say Link is the X Factor of the ASF? Well, he certainly to some, I think he is. I don't know if there's some Link fans out there worth mentioning. If you're, if you thought Link was going to win the big one at the Mascot Rumble, don't lie and admit it. You did. Yes. But also we got Tails could use EC3's theme. Oh God, would that work? I don't know. We'd have to check out the lyrics. The only reason he has Orton's theme right now is because he had Orton's theme before. But let's face it, Orton's new theme sounds way better. The voices one, and it kind of works with his persona because it's like Tails isn't listening to his friends anymore. He's not listening to Sonic. He's not listening to Manic. He's just listening to his own voices in his head telling him that everything should be the way it is and everything is fine with the way things are and the way he's doing things. So it kind of, in that sense, fits as well. But EC3's theme, that's more like trouble, 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 trouble. Again, I'm just looking shocked. Oh, I thought I was gonna get a bad comment then. Never mind. But does that fit? I'm gonna be blunt here and just say no. There you go. You heard it from him. That's another reason to hate him. Shut up. It's everyone's opinion. I don't. But then again, to be honest, maybe it wouldn't fit. Because he's talking about being all famous and everything, but that's not really what we're after when it comes to Tails. Like I said, he's just following the beat of his own drum, so that's kind of not really a song for him, even though it's a good heel song. I'm not sure if it fits Tails' persona that we put him in. That everything is fine and and I'm perfect. I guess in that sense, EC3's theme is kind of saying that he's absolutely perfect and everything, and he can hang with the big guys and all that. But it doesn't fit the total of Tails. I mean, there are parts of the song that would fit, but the whole theme in itself doesn't. So we're going to have to give you a thumbs down on that one. Yeah, so live with it. He's going to hate us now. Please don't hate us. You can hate me, though. I think he already does. You're not talking for him. Okay, so he's also said another idea for Manic's theme. Use TNA's theme would be Bad Influence. Oh, that's it actually starts off with a beat, doesn't it? It goes bum bum boom ch, bum bum boom ch. Yeah, it does. Oh, I'm the one looking shocked now. Yeah, I knew you were gonna do it. Always me. But yeah, it's kind of got. Well, I'm sticking with the Austin Aries theme. Once again, I might have to agree with you on that one. But yeah, for the beginning anyway, that it fits. Because the rest of it's all like a bit kind of techno-y, kind of like, because it goes da, 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 da. That kind of thing. There isn't really a drum beat. Not like, because I've got Cena's theme, like I said, I gave it that because it's got that constant drum beat. Austin Aries kind of has that constant drum beat as well, the beating all the time. So in that sense, yes. We'd stick with Austin Aries. Can you I just had a funny thought. Well, that's probably why you just broke down into laughter. Yeah. Oh God, that's funny. What is funny? Could you spare us the freaking details here? What would you say if we had Manic come down with the martini? Well, crack me up. I realize that. Oh dear me. What does the world come to? And he's wearing that glove which just shows his middle finger, and he's just waving around at people going, yeah, I'm a rebel. That would be hilarious. There's a future gimmick idea from Manic. Please God, no, that doesn't fit him. Okay, never mind then. Oh dear, oh, I needed that. Okay, Nightmare or Astaroth should use Lashley's theme, which is I've heard it in advance, and it's his current one that he's using as the championship, not the when he first debuted with the engine with the da, 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 da. So it's his current one. Maybe. I mean, I think it would certainly fit for Astaroth more than Nightmare, in a sense, because it's like an emergency kind of thing. Because it's like, doesn't like a siren go off at the beginning? You have a couple of drum beats and then it goes. That's the first time I've seen you go into that kind of area. First time for everything. So yeah, quite possibly for Astaroth, not for Nightmare though. That's my opinion. What's yours? No, I'll go with you. I don't think it would fit Nightmare that much. Nightmare needs that intimidating presence kind of theme. That's why I picked Goldberg's for his. Because it's an intimidating song, you know. The all-powerful being of Nightmare is unleashed. Not that saying Astaroth isn't an all-powerful being, but it just doesn't fit him. You know, the Booker T theme definitely fits him more for some reason. I don't know why. But, you know, it's, can you dig it, sucker? It's like it's pretty much a statement, you know, that people have got to live with, you know, Astaroth, and seeing as he was champion for the longest time, it's the case of can you dig it? So it kind of worked in the long run rather than the short one. So yeah, but it would fit. It would fit Astaroth that little bit more, for sure. But not for Nightmare. I don't think it has that presence of there's a big tough guy coming down. Oops, that's the video going poop poop. So next up we have Grim should use Black Rain's theme. I need to remind myself why that goes, so you'll probably hear it in the background. Oh, hang on, I've muted the speakers, haven't I? There we go. Yeah? What do you think? Turn it off. Oh, you did. Oh, good. Maybe. Yeah, I'll go with it. Yeah, that's a good one. It's kind of like a bit of a twisted kind of theme, and that's what Grim, I guess, kind of is. That's why I picked him with the Boogeyman, because the Boogeyman's a twisted individual, and it's kind of got the evil laughter in the background, which kind of fits Grim with the evil laugh, you know, ha ha ha, that kind of thing. Yeah, I know. Fair dues. But yeah, Black Rain's theme would work. Man, I've forgotten all about him. Thanks for bringing him back to my reality. He was the one with like the he was like Goldust basically, wasn't he? But a different persona. Yeah, this weird twisted guy. Well, not that Goldust isn't, but you know. He's Darth Maul now. Yeah, I believe that. And he's saying someone should use Eric Young's current theme. Hate to go into that kind of avenue, but if I was going to say anyone on that front, it would be Billy, because you know, Eric Young's song was supposed to be him being a nutcase, basically, and it kind of almost reflects that with the da 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 da. You know how it goes. So yeah, that kind of fits on a sense. So it'd be Billy's because it's just a silly, one that everyone can get into the groove of if there's a silly guy coming down to the ring. But I might not use it for him. But I don't know who else it would fit right off the bat. I can dwell on that thought and maybe come up with one on Thursday. You and that big gap. Whatever that's supposed to mean. That came out a bit wrong, didn't it? It did. You and that big gap. You just keep walking into it. Okay, so, and there's Bram's theme as well. Who did he say should be Bram? Oh, Chaos. But we've listened to that prior to this. So, your thoughts? No. I really would stick with what you said with Rhino's TNA theme in essence. It kind of works still. In a way. Why did you give it to him originally? Did we didn't address that? I don't think we did. Okay, well the reason I gave Chaos that kind of theme is because he is like in a sense that kind of, it kind of fits him because it's like a slow moving steady tune, but it sounds like he's a tough nut all the same, which is what Rhino is. And it's also what Chaos is in a sense, but he's this big lumbering monster, and but it's got that cool kind of vibe to it because Chaos is essentially like he's a cool looking character if you've ever seen him in the video games. It's not a bad representation of him in this game, but he could look better. I always say, but I haven't found a way to really fix him up, but he still has that important kind of physical presence to him. He's the class is one of the bigger people, even if he's not a super heavyweight or any of those kind of guys. He's still classed as pretty much a middleweight or a guy that could just, that the other guys can pick up instead of having trouble picking him up. So Chaos is just that slow but calculating kind of guy, and that music kind of fits in a way. I don't know, it's kind of an indescribable kind of sense it works. It just fits with him, Yeah, I feel you. I hope you don't. You know what I mean, of course. So yeah. And his final question for us. I don't know how close we are to this end of the Survivor Series match. But he's saying, also, have you ever thought of using other classic video game characters like Mega Man or Pac-Man, who have recently sprung up, of course, in the new Smash Brothers game, but you don't know that. But I'm sure I've told you on the shorter time that we talk about video games. Yeah, I'll play Pac-Man, but that's about all as far as I'll go with video games. So yeah, that's probably why you mentioned it. Actually, I think that's why you did. You said, "You remember Pac-Man?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then you go, "Well, he's in the video game now." And I'm like, "He's always been in a video game," and you're like, "No, he's in Smash Brothers." Yeah, that's how I put it to you. That's pretty much how that conversation went down, and then we closed it off with that. No, he's lying about that. But, I showed him. But when it comes to two people like that, I could possibly put Mega Man in. Pac-Man would be kind of hard to make because that's why I try to avoid making stupid-looking characters or characters that would look pretty much impossible to make because of their physique and everything. And if Pac-Man would just look wrong with a body, because he's just supposed to be this round thing with limbs. And if I gave him a body, that wouldn't look right. But everyone here or on the game that I've made actually has a body of some sort. but Pac-Man doesn't. So I would avoid him like the plague when it comes to making this show, because I want everyone to, even though it may not look like I put 100% into how I create everyone, I still want them to look pretty much like they're representative of who they're representing. Even if it's just like a set piece or whatever, and you can use your imaginations to fill in the blanks. But you know, I could, but that's possible that I could make Mega Man in the future. So who knows? Maybe for season 2, because of course we're all filled up right now for storylines and characters and everything, going into the end of this current season that we're going to be doing in April. But when season 2 comes around on YouTube, I will consider at some point bringing in Mega Man, and who knows how he will make his debut. He might just debut, or he might invade in a match, or he could do anything. That's what I love about debuting characters in general, is how do you debut them. And we've already had 2 interesting ones with Mindy and Peach. Mindy, of course, being one of my favourites, and Peach making her debut because we were building up the anticipation of who it was going to be, and then behold, it's Peach. I don't know if that was a good move to do in terms of building up the hype of who it was going to be, but it made sense at the end of the day of who it was going to be and why they were there, and that was a fairly good debut as well, with an awesome moment to finish it off with an ending to that match. In my favourite match. Not my favourite match, but at least it's up there with in like the top 10 in terms of favourite matches that I've made on the show in general. I would like to see what well, I'm sure everyone else would love to hear what your top 10s are, and yours. Don't involve me in this. No, I'll do it if they would so badly want me to. Well, that's maybe what we could do to combine the whole of the behind the scenes stuff, is we could give our top 10s for matches and favourite moments and stuff. Yeah, I'm up for that. I'll do a bit of thinking, but I'm up for that. Well, I better get thinking now then. You've got a little time. We've got the rest of this month, I think, and then that'll be the end of all these. So yeah, February we'll do that. Why not? Add to the already stuff that we've already got planned. Shh. You just keep building up that hype, don't you? Yep, that's what I want to do. So yeah, thanks anyway for your input there, Mr. Ben Hopkins, sir. And by all means, put more input in. By all means, and anyone else who wants to contribute, because your comments will be mentioned and talked about, as you can see here. So be a part of the show even more so, and just say anything. I just bugged that up. I pressed the I pressed the end of the video before I pressed the stop capture button. Oh, well, never mind. No one noticed. Okay. That's what you say. So yeah, just say anything, and who knows what we'll get. We will mention. I'll mention everything on there, and we can just have our reactions, live reactions for these maker things. Yeah, especially mine. Everyone wants to hear my live reaction for everything, because I give good ones for even reactions towards you. Oh, stop promoting yourself. But no, by all means, just post your thoughts or a question or whatever, and we'll talk about it. Be something to talk about during those sparing moments, like now, because really I wouldn't know what to talk about right now. So yes, that was a great asset there, Mr. Ben Hopkins, once again mentioned for the 10,000th time. That's a good thing. Keep promoting him. He's good. I tell you what else I can talk about now that I did plan in advance to talk about, and that was the reason why, even though I have talked about on the on-off occasion so far why I've used the Day of Reckoning 2 game for the ASF, but I wanted to give my view on the possibility of it being used on other games and why I haven't taken that route of putting it on another game. First and foremost is, in fact, the action. I think I can close the internet for now. But I don't need to read any more comments because there is no more. We got someone auditioning for Sonic, by the way, on the Sonic on the other behind the scenes one where we're talking about Sonic voice actors. We can talk about that at some point, but for now I'll talk about the reason why I haven't put the Day of Reckoning, like the show, on another wrestling game. And that's for the well, it's not for the simple fact. There's a lot of factors to take into consideration, which is why I thought it would stretch this show out a bit and be still interesting. There's you trying to cut corners. Oh, shush. So, yeah, first and foremost, it's the action. This is an old wrestling game, and it deserves to be recognised because it is, I feel, one of the better ones, which is why I still do use this game, and it's in definitely one of my top 5 wrestling games of all time. As shocking as that may sound to some, because there's a lot of people out there that don't like this game, and I don't know why. But in terms of maybe actual gameplay, it's not great. As you can see, it does have its flaws, but in terms of making the show, it's fantastic. But like I said, I'm going to be going into that now. So Eggman, you can take a back seat for a minute because you won't know what the hell I'm talking about because you haven't played any of the wrestling games. Well, you played the SmackDown versus Raw game, I think, with me, and we made a few videos, and you weren't being a professional player as such, but hey, you were still playing it. And I was just puzzled out of my ass. You just said, press this button to grab people and do moves. and press this button to counter people's moves. And I was just like, okay, this should be fun. Yeah, we only did 3 matches there, and they're all very fun. We did a Hell in a Cell and a flaming table match and everything. Everything that was interesting, but I wasn't that into it. But hey, I was still playing. But they don't excite me. But that's just me. I like watching actual footage of people doing stuff rather than it being animated stuff. But, you know, I'm being negative here, aren't I, about people watching a wrestling show on a video game, so I think I'll shut up. Yeah, good idea. So yeah, it is the action. It's fast paced, which is what the ASF to be. I know there are other games out there that are of an arcade fashion, like in a fast pace, but there are other reasons why I haven't done those games, which I of course will explain and go into. But it's the simple case of I keep saying that, don't I? But it's not a simple case. It's the fact that what else can I bring up here? Yeah, so we wanted the show to be fast-paced, but we also wanted it to have like breaks in it. I mean, this game can be slow at times, especially when you're having long, drawn-out matches like this. And like I said, the kick-out system, you can have sometimes amazing amount of kick-outs despite how many finishing moves you give to your opponent, which is great. So you can have that really great continuous, keep on willing on the fight, and in some cases I actually, if it's intentional that the other person should win, they suddenly come back and win, which is always good in wrestling to do in general, and I'm sure you'll agree with me with that. In plots, yeah. For me, I just like a finish and a pin, but that's just me. Right, okay. But yeah, I do like long drawn out matches because then it's like, yeah, they're going to continue on after this kick out. And this person's going to keep still fighting and everything. So in that respect, it's kind of fun to watch, to know that the match is going to continue. And if you're really enjoying the match, that can be a good thing. So you can get, we can get more out of this match than what they're just going to do a finish and get a pin, which seems rather boring. But, in some cases that, a finish is a finish because it's called a finish. Because that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to finish the match. And in 9 times out of 10, that's what it usually does. But, you get that rare occasion where you get the super load of kickouts, and it's actually quite remarkable to see. I'm talking reality based here, but the WWE seem to do that quite a bit.
A lot of wrestling companies do it a lot, but you know it's more noticeable in the WWE. Sometimes it's noticeable in TNA as well, but they back it up by doing some amazing stunts and stuff rather than just having someone continually kick out of shit. So, yeah. So I know where you're coming from, but I don't wholeheartedly agree with it. But there you go. That's me. Yeah. So there's that element always that is always good when you capture on video, and then you can have it up for the show. It's great. Also, the stamina, amazingly enough, I feel works for the show because, like I said, you can have those slow moments, and then you can have the person standing outside recovering, and then we can talk about the pace of the match has damaged them to the point where they can't compete anymore, and the other person's getting impatient, and they can't they're getting anxious, and it's mind games being played as well. So we can all bring that in. So that's why that's in there, and it takes a little while for the stamina to recover. There is a few other games that employ the system of stamina, but they look stupid when they're recovering it because I think it was for the SmackDown vs. Raw games. On some of them, you had to press. I think it was the early SmackDown vs. Raw games. You had to press the select button or something, and they would slowly start recovering their stamina or whatever. And they just look stupid. That's not recovering. That's just looking stupid. But they just used to But these ones, the stamina recovery animation actually looks like they're recovering from lack of breath and everything. As an example, there's Link doing it right now, and look, he's out of breath. He's leaning down. He's battered. He's worn. He's been in this match for a long time. We can sell that fact. So it really helps to help create that feeling that the match is dragging on very long for this person, and it's tiring them the F out, and creates that atmosphere of the tension. Like this match has taken so much out of him that he's had to move out of the ring to recover, thus playing a bit of mind games, but also playing it smart as well by being outside. Because the other good thing is the AI doesn't follow you out. Only on the rare occasions does it follow you out. But otherwise it will be patient and it will stay in the ring, which I'm very thankful for. So that's another good reason to have this game have the show on this particular game. Is that just that system on its own? The other reasons were, like I said, with TLC matches and stuff, you can pace the match because they don't introduce the other weapons until you do. So yeah. So I can select when I want to bring a table into the ring, and I can select when I want to bring a chair into the ring, or into play, Even if it is bad for the AI to bring in a table at times, because they'll just put you on it and then they'll punch the table and it breaks. I don't know why that system is implemented, but hey, it's all the fun of the fair, and we've started saying as of late that they're worse than they're the exact opposite of Japanese tables, because Japanese tables never break hardly, and if they do it isn't much. So these are the exact opposite. They're made out of sugar paper, for God's sakes. Or something, Yeah, I think I introduced that one, didn't I? I think you might have been the first one to say it, yeah. So yeah. But it helps me pace the match and everything like that for TLC matches and maybe other matches that involve weapons and such. Also works for Hell in a Cell. The AI doesn't introduce weapons into the Hell in a Cell. I've also noticed on the current wrestling games that they don't do that, but there's a reason why I haven't used current wrestling games for whatever for the ASF either. We'll get into that. But they don't introduce weapons until you start getting weapons out in the Hell in a Cell either. So that's good on that front as well, pacing of that particular match. Yeah, because you can say, right, I want a wrestling portion at the start of this Hell in a Cell match, and then they can get the weapons out, and then we can go through a wall or whatever, and then it'll be great. And all that jazz. So it really helps on pacing everything to make it a little bit more epic. What were the other reasons? I mean, I thought all of these up in advance just so I know I was going to have a lot to talk about, but now I can't remember half of them. The creator wrestler system. The reason I haven't used the older games is I don't like the creator wrestler system. Specifically for games like I'm talking about Here Comes the Pain, and for games the games just before that, or SmackDown 2, or SmackDown 2's creator wrestler is kind of good. I mean, I have used it and I do enjoy using it, but that game doesn't work for a lot of levels. It is simply very arcadey, and the matches only last for a few minutes. At least for this, the matches can at least last for, the shortest match you can possibly have is about 5 minutes. So it's not that bad on that front. But the matches on SmackDown 2 or SmackDown 1, they can be ridiculously short in some cases. And you can't do a lot in terms of matchups either. Hell in a Cell is rather a bad matchup on that game. And as well as a few other matchups on that game, which everyone's aware of, pretty sure anyway. Maybe. You can only have one-on-one TLC matches, which is really bad, and you can only have a limited amount of weapons, whereas on the TLC match here, you can continually get out, chairs and tables and ladders and stuff. Also, the more recent games, when you have Fatal 4-Way ladder matches, you can only have... there's so many things wrong with the ladder match on recent games. Fuck me. It's a case of bad editing right there. a sign of things to come. It was what was I talking about? The ladder matches. The ladder matches on this game, no matter how many people you have in the ring, you're going to get 4 ladders in the end of the day, because there's a ladder already on the outside. You can have 4 ladders on the inside. But on the Fatal 4-Way ladder matches or TLC or ladder matches in particular, it's only 1-on-1 matches where you get 4 ladders in total. There used to actually be more. But it was only 3 ladders from multiple people, and nowadays there's actually only 2 ladders, like they've devolved or something. So I really hate that. So if you want to have the maximum amount of fun with a ladder match and have as many amazing crazy spots and make it feel like they're bringing out more ladders, and it adds to the excitement of the match, because I feel like if you've got more equipment out in the ring, then more potential can happen elsewhere, because you can set up spots like I can have a ladder next to the announce table, or I can have a ladder on the ramp, or I can have a ladder in the corner, and I can have a ladder standing in the ring, or I can just have a ladder anywhere, just so if the spot opportunity comes up, I can take it instead of having to move the ladder everywhere. And also the AI, like I was saying, is dumb as fuck, because for me, I don't know if it. But it probably is a general thing, because it's happened with a lot of with most of the current games that I've owned. Is the minute you start climbing a ladder, if it's a multiple person match, the AI will not focus on you climbing the ladder until you're at the top grabbing at the championship. And that's the last thing you should be doing. You should be stopping people from climbing up the ladder in the first place. But they don't in some cases, and that to me just really pisses me off in general when I'm playing the damn game. If I ever do reduce myself to playing it, I do play it still off on the on-off occasion, but it's really in a rarity now that I do. Which is why I definitely haven't bought the current one, because fuck that. Because there's no appeal to me there, because it's essentially the same game with an updated roster, but we're downgrading the roster actually, because it hasn't got the WrestleMania people in, so I don't like it. Because I like playing mostly as the people in the WrestleMania mode, like The Rock and Austin and Hogan and all those guys, and Macho Man and all those. So yeah. So it loses that excitement for the ladder match, because even if it's a 1-on-1 match, sometimes the AI can act really dumb You know, they can walk around and they'll try to kick the ladder even though you can't actually do that at all, or they'll try and punch you and miss, or they'll climb up the other side of the ladder. With this game, with the ladder match, as you've noticed on several million occasions probably, the minute you start climbing that ladder, AI, straight in on you. You know, in some cases it won't even try to climb the ladder itself. It'll make sure you are properly disposed of before it even attempts. So the AI is incredibly smart in a ladder match and will try to win any means necessary. In some cases they'll even try to throw you outside the ring just so that they can set up the ladder and climb it. In most cases they'll just set it up in the corner, but hey, that's all fun when it comes to setting up spots with that. And the AI will only try to keep one ladder in the ring, which does annoy me, but hey, it's better than a ladder flying all around the place and everything. And you can do moves onto the ladder quite easily. We've done several ladder spots where we've done moves onto the ladder. You know, it doesn't have to necessarily be, you know, from a top turnbuckle standpoint. You can be standing right next to it and they can do a move onto the ladder. And we have done that. Yeah, so just for that reason it sucks in general. I will give them credit, they do have the same TLC premise, like they won't introduce the other weapons until whenever. Also for the Hell in a Cell, for more recent games, obviously the older games, like even prior to this point, you couldn't get any weapons out in the Hell in a Cell match. There's Link winning against Tails. There's a bit of symbolism for you for the future things to come, by the way, as Link manages to eliminate Tails, and so Samus is left. I don't know why we made Samus the person to be the last person there, but I guess she needed that presence, seeing as she did come off from a loss from No Mercy. Anyway, what was I talking about? While you were just sitting over there being silent, wondering what the hell I'm going on about. But yeah, the Hell in a Cell matches around in this kind of era, you couldn't even pick up weapons from underneath the Hell in a Cell. So screw that idea. I want weapons in my Hell in a Cell, thank you very much. And we can have every single weapon that you can usually grab from under the ring, minus tables and ladders. But you can have chairs, you can have ring bells, you can have trash cans, you can have kendo sticks, just everything, steel pipes, you name it. Everything that you can pick out in the Hell in a Cell. Which is good. There's that, because even in the current Hell in a Cell matches you can pick out weapons, but it's only just chairs and a sledgehammer. That's boring. You know, I can even brag. I want to promote the SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 game, actually, for the Nintendo Wii. And everyone laughed at wrestling games on the Nintendo Wii for a very good reason. But I say that the SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 on the Wii is a very good game for the simple premise that you can pick out weapons when you couldn't pick out weapons from under the ring, and you get 2 chairs, a sledgehammer, and a table. Yeah, you can pick out... Well, you can pick out a table in the Wii version. Can you do that on 2009 on the PlayStation or the Xbox version? No, you can't pick out anything. There's a lot of stuff on 2009 game that I actually like when it comes to the weaponry. I hate to be a promotional faggot here, but there you go. You just go ahead and continue your PR. What is that supposed to mean? Oh dear. It means whatever you want it to mean. Yeah. The Extreme Rules match on SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 for the Wii, you know, the tame console that everyone thinks is family friendly, the Extreme Rules match is friggin' awesome on that, because you can have the Extreme Rules match on any of the shows. Well, actually you can't, I take that back, but on the road to WrestleMania, do you know when you had the CM Punk storyline, and when you had an Extreme Rules match that wasn't in the ECW arena, it wasn't actually an Extreme Rules match, you can only pick up the same weapons you could pick up in a no disqualification match. Well, on the Wii game version of that, it is an Extreme Rules match, and you can pick out stuff from underneath the ring in every Extreme Rules match in that story. in that CM Punk story. There's that, and also there's actually more weapons in the Extreme Rules match, and you can do some really evil things. You can light the 2x4 on fire, and I know you can do that in the other games, but you can still do the grapple attack of raking it in someone's face. You can rake a flaming 2x4 wrapped in barbed wire in someone's face on the Wii U. Oh, not on the Wii U, on just the Wii. So, yeah, Eggman, take it away. What do you think of that? That sounds actually really vicious, rubbing the 2x4 that's on fire in someone's face and it's covered in barbed wire. That just sounds evil. Yeah, I'll give you that. You can't do that on the other ones? No, you can't. You can only hit them with it. But you can't rake their face. No, you can't. Go and check it out if you're curious. I mean, the gameplay is slightly altered because you can't run around freely or anything, but it's a nice change of pace to the match. You know, you're not just running around taking, hits after hits, but you can, you walk around, and if you do want to run, you do have the option to, but it's always towards your opponent to do a running attack. But that's seeing as what most people do online anyway. You may as well just have it in there. Obviously, you can't play it online anymore, but, you can have a lot of fun with your friends on that game. Especially in the Extreme Rules match. There's more in the Extreme Rules match as well. You can, you were limited to only picking out 4 weapons in the Extreme Rules match, I might add. And that limit is taken off of the Wii version. You can pick out, you can pick out every single weapon from the Extreme Rules match. We're talking about table, kendo stick, trash can, 2x4 and barbed wire, a ladder, everything. You can pick it all out and have it in the ring for a true Extreme Rules match. And also, if you lift up the steel steps in the corner, you'll find a bag of thumbtacks in them. Yay, thumbtacks in a wrestling game. When have they ever done that? Hardly never. They did it in the Legends of WrestleMania video game, in the Hell in a Cell to be more specific. If you tossed over the steel steps, you'd find a bag of tacks on there for Undertaker versus Mankind or whatever, so you could do that. But, no, they haven't done it in any other video game that I know of, in terms of wrestling video game or whatever. That's been professionally made, I might add. I mean, I know there's some maybe little games out there. I think there's the Mackie D's wrestling video game. I think it's called Wrestling Encore, where you can have thumbtacks and shit and all kinds of crap. But that's not a professionally made game by a professional company, as much as it pains me for even me to say that and for other people to hear it, but it isn't. Anyway, I can stop talking about that. So I will talk more about why I don't have ASF on other wrestling games in the near future, probably for the other Survivor Series match, because that's going to take a little bit of time. But right now, Eggman, we can bring you back into the fold here. Oh, thanks. Because we've got this as-build handicap match. I like how we keep on swerving all the matches here. Here's Cyrus again out with the Cyrus robot saying, "Here's my robot, enjoy him, Nightmare." And he still is to this day. and what was I going to say? Yeah, so we've decided that, we didn't want another handicap match with Bomberman in it. No, not with Bomberman, with Wario in it, sorry. No, hang on a minute, he didn't have a handicap match. What am I talking about? No, Bomberman is in this one. That's how we established that tag team. Who was in the Survivor Series match? We were just watching it and I don't even know. I thought it was Wario and Bomberman, but it's someone else. Oh yeah, so that's right, it was Lisa and Homer. But yeah, we still came up with this concept of this tag team for this match. The start of the Retro Warriors, because of you said it's like a history thing of them two being in a video game. I've yet to check out what a video game that is, actually. I should have done that. Oh, never mind. There's research for you. But yeah, so this was again billed as a match which we didn't do, and it was a handicap match, but we didn't want another handicap match for Bomberman. So we made it a tag team, and we had to... we continued the rivalry because, like I said, we just wanted the Cyrus robot to rebel against Bomberman because the Mega Power Bomb looks really cool being done on that robot. and really puts Bomberman over there as a tough ass that he should be. But it turned out to be a great tag team hardcore championship match instead of Wario trying to get back his hardcore championship. And indeed he doesn't. So it continues on after that. Well, it doesn't continue on after that because we move into the thing with Astrof after this because of what happens in that 3 Stages of Hell match. That we will talk about on Thursday. I think that's how we're going to plan it. This will be the last match we talk about for today, and then we'll do the other 3 for next time. That will space things out nicely. Because we're getting near that point now where it's an hour and a half, so I guess I'll live up to that end of the bargain, even though you people are not going to get a notice or anything that we've done that. You'll all be seeing this on Thursday, so never mind about that. Don't listen to us. No, listen to us. We're supposed to be telling you everything. Yeah. And we are, in some way, shape or form. Yes. So yeah, continue the thing with him, and it kind of started off this little tag team of Nightmare and the Cyrus Robot in a sense, but we didn't really plan that until quite recently. So this was just a taste of things to come, shall we say, that we didn't know was going to come. Ugh, there's me lack of drink again. So yeah, but this was going to be just straight up. We didn't put much thought into this. We just needed, obviously, Wario needed a rematch. And we wanted him to have a friend to help him out for the injustice that he was doing, and seeing as Wario was kept off the roster for so long, and Bomberman was getting angry at how he was being treated by Cyrus, then it would make sense for those two to actually team up to rebel against and win back the hardcore title for Nightmare. But then Cyrus again throws in the little twist there that we didn't put in until the final match. And bring out his robot to do more ugly service against Bomberman and Wario. Thus continuing the rivalry somewhat there. So that's really what it came down to, was what we wanted. And we did it. That's why you don't see all the members of the previous Survivor Series match, is because that's what we didn't plan. So, and it's really hard to make those pictures at the end of the day. Even though it doesn't look like it's really hard to make those pictures, because number one, you have to come up with a design that is going to fit everyone. And in Survivor Series, that's going to be a very hard task, because of course we're going to have multiple people matches. So I needed to make space that we were going to have 6 faces in, or 6 people in, or on the picture. Hence that. So it's kind of hard to come up with a design. So having to come up with a redesign simply to fit all 10 faces in was going to be too much of a hindrance for me. So that's why we didn't update the picture at all. We were just going to continually say that they were actually going to have 2 additional members on top of the 3 that they had. And they were going to be the permanent factions and what. So that's why you haven't seen the updated picture, because so I try and incorporate. And I also try and come up with some kind of theme for each picture. I think, we might as well go through the whole list, I guess. For Judgment Day, it was a case of, obviously Grim, the presence there was Grim, because he was in the main event, so I just thought, put his face in there because it's Judgment Day, that would be his kind of an event. So the picture theme would be Grim. And then we had Backlash, which was just some spikes arching over. Because it's Backlash, and I didn't really have a particular theme at that time. That was when I was being really uncreative. And then King of the Ring was kind of like that all amazing look of the flashing lights and everything, and just opening it up in the middle and showing the matchup, because it was only a bunch of one-on-one matches, so I didn't need that much space. Bad Blood was obviously a blood drip, and we could have the match inside the blood drip. So that was that, and then we had Vengeance with the big V, so that wasn't very hard. I could just say, right, we could use the V as like a versus logo even, so I could have each person standing on each side of the V, Although it'd be hard to do for like the multi-person matches, but we still got away with it, and it still worked in terms of the pictures. And then Summer Strike, I don't know why I came up with that design for Summer Strike when it came to the match pictures. But it was just kind of fun, just designing it and making it like all summery and like fun and stuff, and just a big event feel kind of picture. And then Unforgiven, we had the kind of like a steel cage kind of thing, but even though there wasn't a steel cage on the event, but it was like, these two are locked into battle, and we'll have like a door opening to show all the different matches and everything. And then No Mercy was kind of like, it had pipes in the middle, so they were connected. Because I think the punchline originally, if we were going to make a promotional picture, is that was before then, but I was just in case, it was like we were going to have the original punchline as like having we were going to have Tails like standing holding a two wires in his hand that had been separated, and the punchline was going to be the link is separated, because he's separated the link between him and Manic, and so we'd have him standing there holding two wires that have been broken apart from each other on that front. So that was going to be that kind of thing. So it was like the two pictures are joined by a wire. So that was what I was going for there. So look back at that and you can notice that. Survivor Series, like I said, it was just like a simple of how am I going to fit several million faces on the screen at once. So it was just like make some interesting shapes and have it all light up and like that. Just all, and then there you go. There's the pictures. In fact, we're going to call it a day around here now, because this next match is coming up, and I don't want it to fill up on what's to come. So we'll pause it here. I'll just finish up by saying the other ideas. Obviously, Metal Sonic's face for Armageddon was simply because of that big matchup with Luigi, and it was a big matchup indeed. It turned out to be, which was great. So really that was all about Metal Sonic that night, as well as me going absolutely bonkers with the Hell in a Cell. Yeah, did you ever? And then No Way Out was again a cage, but I was kind of giving it more that prison feel, hence the little red searchlights flashing away. And we even had that noise of the siren going off for like an air raid or whatever. And we actually started using backgrounds as well from that point, and we had I found this really cool picture on Google Images of just this explosion with chains coming out, and I thought that has got to be the background picture for No Mercy, or not No Mercy, for No Way Out I should say, because that looks like an awesome picture. And we still had the steel cage as a presence throughout every picture, because it was the steel cage was the main event. For ASIF, obviously, I just was going to have a load of on-screen keyboards on the screen, because that's what the ASF was all about, being interactive with the fans, and they were going to use their computers. So that wasn't really hard, and we had the background be this kind of techno kind of blue stripes going across and stuff, which really worked for the voting bars and everything. So that was all good. And then Mascot Rumble obviously is the road to the Mascot Mania event, so obviously the backdrop is going to be a road, and then I tried to make a bad looking over the top view of a car, because it's got that oval shape, and then we have the people inside, that upside down oval, the archway, and then the people would be inside there, and then so that would be the Mascot Rumble thing, and you'll find out what we got for Mascot Mania, but it should be blatantly obvious, though I'm kind of going for a movie reel kind of thing feeling there. So there's a preview for what the Mascot Mania picture is going to look like. So we're going to have a kind of movie reel kind of theme, because that's the actual arena that we have on the Day of Reckoning game, which is WrestleMania 21, which is where they were in Hollywood. So we're going to be using that arena. So I thought, and it will make sense for what the movie reel of what I've got planned for Mascot Mania pictures. I'm going to put a lot of effort into doing those. So you'll see what that's all about in the near future for the comeback or whatever. So yeah, build the hype. And we're going to end it here for us, but not for you people. We'll just be kicking off straight, continuously back into this moment. So I'm not going to say goodbye. So we'll just end it here, Eggy. Eggy. Oh, right, yeah. You've got his name there for a minute. Yeah, it took a little while just then. Alright, so we'll just cut it here and then we'll carry on Thursday. Hooray! And then you guys will see it. So yeah, let's just cut it here, shall we? Stop sounding like an idiot and then we can just carry on. Sounds good to me.